Hi everyone, I'm Hannah. I'm going to read again. This is the third recital from the library, and it's quite late here. So I lit some candles and put some fairy lights on, and we're going to have story time. I'm going to read a few poems from my first collection that is incoming, and then two more from different books. I hope you're doing well, enjoying the sunshine. It's been very sunny in the United Kingdom. Yeah, I hope you're well, whatever you're doing, and you enjoy. The first poem I'm going to read is called Scientists Are Storytellers. How can it be that I took this long to call myself a writer? All those years as a healthcare manager could not have been wasted. Been all over the world, yet it was at home where I discovered the sight unseen. The contrast in studying neuroscience to explore consciousness. Clearly wasn't thinking. Meandering, my way through to finally accepting I'm only out of reach if I don't share my words. That author is a title I can choose. Not following my heart, this is how I'll lose. Looking back took me forward, showed me forever. Writing, you've always been there. Whatever I was doing, you've always been there. Nudging me, calling me higher. Out of the depths of despair. Scientist or artist, I don't care. The world was never ready for me, and I promise my deep cuts will reveal. This is me now. This is me. This is me eternally, a student of life, a teacher for life. It was doing that got me here, through the doubt, yours and mine. It's my time to bloom. Here I am as a storyteller, seen and heard. That's our legacy for all lifetimes. I wrote that in Chorlton in a bar. Maybe I am karma. God trusts you. All you have to do is keep walking. Yes, angels do walk the earth. Look ahead. Know your gifts are protected. The time is always right. Let me know what you've been up to. Let me know how you're finding these. In a pretty chill mood, I don't know if you can tell. So the next poem I wrote in January this year in London. I haven't titled it yet. I wrote parts of my book in St John's Wood. I came here to edit during winter. Never anticipated learning to love London would be part of the process. I didn't know anything about this place or the people here. It was the nearest neighbourhood to where I was staying. I was surrounded by the so-called enemy, unsuspecting to my ethnic identity. I was treated with respect and dignity again and again. It's true, humanity is neutral. I kept wondering when I'd be found out, how long I'd be able to stay here before they kicked me out. Thankfully, my thoughts didn't win. Trust did. Trust when she asked me to take care of her belongings while she went to the toilet. And I did. Both working alone. Side by side. I knew I'd be calling on her to return the favour at some point. And she did. There's so many poems. I'm excited to share this with you. Really excited. This poem's called Coming Out. It's one I wrote a while ago, and it's about when I shared my poems like earlier on in my journey, like to people who I saw in higher regard than they saw me, and this is what happened. And it kind of delayed me on my journey, and it made me doubt myself. And don't let anyone do that to you. I mean, it's hard not to, and it's easy to say that now, but yeah, if there's things that pour out of you that make you feel free, then always follow that. This is called Coming Out. Your reaction to me was so ugly, and I thought, I must be ugly to be the brunt of such anger. Frightened me, and I so hid away my gifts in my confusion. I couldn't understand why the words I wrote so lovingly were violently rejected. I allowed too much. Now I know the love is all about me. You couldn't see what I could see, and everyone is at different stages of their evolution. Still, your emotional responses were never mine to own. That was quite possibly the start of how you awakened to your soul. That's exactly why I trust me now, and my gifts are for sharing anyhow. Stumbled there at the start. Some cats fighting. I think that's the sign to call it a day. In regards to sharing my work. So I'm going to read a poem from Poems for Love. I opened the book and it's a poem called Ruth, so that's the one I'm going to read. She stood breast high amid the corn, clasped by the golden light of morn, like the sweetheart of the sun, who many a glowing kiss had won. On her cheek an autumn flush, deeply ripened, such a blush, in the midst of brown was born, like red poppies grown with corn. Round her eyes her tresses fell, which were blackest none could tell, but long lashes veiled a light that had else been all too bright. And her hat with shady brim made her tressy forehead dim. Thus she stood amid the stooks, praising God with sweetest looks. Sure, I said, heaven did not mean, where I reap thou shouldn't but glean. Lay thy sheaf adown and come, share my harvest and my home. Meeting. Again I see my bliss at hand, the town, the lake are here. My Marguerite smiles upon the strand, unaltered with the year. I know that graceful figure fair, that check of languid hue. I know that soft unkerchiefed hair, and those sweet eyes of blue. Again I spring to make my choice, again in tones of ire I hear a God's tremendous voice be counselled and retire. Ye gilding powers who join and part, what would ye have with me? I warn some more ambitious heart, and let the peaceful be. That was Meeting by Matthew Arnold, and the first poem I read was Ruth by Thomas Hood. I've said before that I feel like my peers as a poet are dead, and it's quite a problem. It's quite a problem. And yeah, hopefully that will change over time, and I'll discover more peers that are alive. The last poem I'm going to read is from a book called Storyteller, and it's Morgan Harper Collins' debut collection. I'll read 2 poems. For the writer. Writing is a chance to speak to those who don't feel spoken to put into words what the readers thought they were alone in thinking about. For the one in a new city. Sometimes the best way to get to know a city is to step out of its way. Stare tall at its cathedrals, tucked in corners on narrow streets, and say nothing. Feel the history and the languages coming from the bustling shops, and taste the food as it floats through the morning air. Walk, talk, smell, see, until you forget sometimes to take a photograph or write it down because you were just too busy living. Well, I hope you enjoyed tonight's reading. Yeah, it was an organic affair. And for those of you where it's also bedtime, I wish you the sweetest night's sleep and the sweetest dreams. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for liking and subscribing and sharing and interacting and engaging in all the ways that you feel called to do. Good night.